Next up, the CarBuyer Advisor, your first place to turn for everything automotive. Taking a stand for consumer education and dedicated to connecting you with the industry's finest automotive products, services, and advice. And now, please welcome the CarBuyer Advisor.
Words can't even possibly begin to describe the pleasure we derive from introducing to our community businesses like our next. What you can expect when you pay them a visit are not only a knowledgeable staff, excellent products, competitive pricing, but quality customer care. They truly seem to love what they do so much they appear to be at play. And you can feel the pride they take in what they do. What sets them apart from other similar businesses is the effort they take to make certain you get the products you really need, while others around them will sell you just about anything regardless if it fulfilled your needs or not. And we cannot express how important this is when deciding who to trust when it comes to preparing your truck or SUV for towing this spring. Your safety and the lives of your passengers can depend on these decisions. And remember, we do not expect you to simply take our word for it. Yes, we endorse this next business as top in the industry, but we provide you the opportunity to find out why. They make trucks fun. They are custom truck accessories. And please welcome back to the show, Scott Dixon, General Manager. Scott, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us on again, Mitch.
Scott, spring is here, or at least feels like it. Wait just a minute. Do we even have a winter this winter?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Regardless, though, it's a great time for our consumers to start getting their vehicles ready to tow for the spring, which is definitely coming soon. I mentioned it in my intro how important it is to purchase these products from people that really know towing, but that's your personal specialty, isn't it?
You know, it kind of is, Mitch. When I came to work for Custom Truck, my background was more in the towing and getting people prepared to be able to tow safely and know what they're doing when they're towing. So, yeah, I bring a lot of that to the table when I came over.
And there's a lot more to it than just knowing, the weight capacity of a drivetrain of a vehicle. So how often do you have people come to you that have already spent a great deal of money somewhere else only to find out they were not just sold the proper equipment for their needs, but let alone for their safety?
Well, it happens quite often. And unfortunately, what happens is people will go out and have a need so that they can safely tow and are sold something, but they aren't really told how to use it and why it works and how it works. And so when somebody comes to see us, I try to make sure they understand what it is they're buying, how it works, and how to use it. That way they're more comfortable, and I try to make sure that they're comfortable before they leave. If they have any questions, I tell them to please ask, and call me if you have to ask a question.
Well, and these people that go other places that don't really understand the requirements, the legal requirements, a lot of times you find them after they've been pulled over and had their their vehicle required to be left on the roadside.
Right. They'll actually red tag a trailer if it's not safe, or if you have a hitch that's underrated, or even they'll look as close as the ball that's on your ball mount. If it's not rated for the weight you're pulling, they will actually red flag your trailer. And
they'll make you park it and tow it. You can't even drive it away. Let's talk about the different types of towing, because you just mentioned the balls. Let's begin with bumper towing. When is this recommended, and what point does it stop being an acceptable form of towing?
Well, you've got, there is bumper towing where you can actually put a ball on the bumper and tow with a bumper. There are some pickups and some SUVs that are rated for bumper towing, but it's usually minimal. Ideally, you want to have a frame-mounted hitch and tow with that. With a bumper, you have no adjustability for the height of the hitch, so it's set at the same height all the time.
Well, let's talk about what that really results in. If your hitch isn't at the right perfect height, then you either have the trailer tongue elevated or it's too close to the ground. And let's describe some of the drawbacks of those actions to the trailer.
Well, if your trailer's elevated and the tongue of the trailer's high, what you're going to experience is a lot of tail whip and sway issues because there's not enough weight riding on the ball, which is your axis of which it turns. And if it's too much tongue weight, then it's going to cause premature fatigue on the springs of the vehicle that's towing it. And it's going to put a lot more drag on the trailer.
And then it can also lift, if it's too much weight, it can push it down on the back of the vehicle and lift the front where you have your steering control of the vehicle even up off of the ground.
Right, making it harder to steer.
So when it comes to towing a vehicle behind you, you see a variety of different setups traveling down the road. What options do you offer for towing vehicles behind vehicles?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Mitch. A lot of people don't realize that Custom Truck also is skilled in installing flat tow systems. So if you want to what they call dinghy tow your vehicle behind your motorhome, we can get you set up with the proper equipment so that it's safe and easy to use. What a lot of people don't understand, there are a lot of vehicles now that are made by the factories that are ready to be towed flat behind your motorhome or cab over camper. And sometimes it's as simple as pulling a fuse or doing a shift process to put it into neutral. If anybody has any questions, I'd love for them to call. I can tell you right away if that vehicle's towable or not.
Well, and our recommendation would be to make that call, because a lot of times a salesperson that's unfamiliar with towing, that just wants to sell you a product, will indicate that, oh yeah, you can tow this behind your motorhome, and it may or may not be true. And once you've already, if you paid attention to the DMV segment of our show today, found out once you sign that contract and take possession, unless it's in writing that they made those commitments, you might not really have an out as a consumer. So the best thing we can recommend is to call Scott Custom Truck and say, look, is this vehicle towable flat dinghy style behind my motorhome, or can you make it towable before you make that purchase?
Right.
When it comes to towing, the probably most common question that people ask, when towing a fifth wheel especially, is should they go with a half-ton, three-quarter-ton, 1 ton, short bed, long bed? And that's kind of the most common confusion. So let's shed some light on that.
Well, I think most of the time a fifth wheel hitch is very little half-tons are really capable of pulling a fifth wheel travel trailer or recreational trailer. There are some models out there that are light enough to go behind a half-ton. They're the smaller versions. But most of the time, the basic hitch that you can start off with is a 15,000-pound capacity. Now, if you've got 1,500 pounds of tongue weight, which is usually 10% of the trailer, a three-quarter ton or 1 ton ideally is what you would want to use to tow a fifth wheel or gooseneck.
And short bed or long bed, does that have to do with the shape of the trailer?
It does. With the short bed truck, most of the time a customer is going to need what they call a sliding fifth wheel hitch, which moves back for maneuverability of the trailer, not when you're towing it down the road, but when you're trying to negotiate it into a spot so that you don't hit the cab of the truck. Long bed trucks are, of course, the best choice if you're going to pull a fifth wheel, because you take away that option of hitting the cab.
Now, I understand you offer suspension airbags. Share when they're appropriate and the differences between good and bad systems on those.
We do. We supply and install Firestone air ride systems, Ride-Rite systems. You can get a basic system, which is just a load support bag that'll give you up to 5,000 pounds more payload in the bed of the truck, which helps pick the weight of the truck up again to ride evenly, so that when you're pulling it down the road, you're not experiencing any oversteer or any premature fatigue on the springs
or sway of the trailer.
Right. By pulling it nice and even, you help eliminate some of the sway problems that you're going to have.
You carry so many items that people need to get ready for camping. One of them I thought was interesting are your generator options.
Right. What a lot of people don't know too is Custom Truck recently picked up a line of generators that we're selling, and they're inexpensive, and they're actually a really high-quality generator. We range from 500 watt all the way up to 3,100 watt generators. They're made by Powerhouse. They're all inverter style, so they're quiet. A lot of them are remote start capable and also parallel capable, so you can link them together to get more power.
Well, and we talked about the fact that you might be able to light up an entire trailer park with some of these.
We might be able to do that.
Really large capacity generators, and they have a great selection of them too. Now, Scott, people probably, when they hear Custom Truck Accessories, even if they know your store, the first thing that comes to mind is you have one of the greatest wheel and tire selections in the entire state for trucks. But I heard recently that you have 2012 wheel and tire packages that other businesses haven't even received yet.
We have some brand new models out. We actually, if you come into the store, we recently put a new wall up and actually have hung the wheels from the wall. And there are some wheels that we have that you can be the first guy in town to put this model on. So if you want to be the first guy, come in and see us and we'll get you hooked up.
I can't help it, but I was just in there recently, and some of these, I've just never seen anything as beautiful. I can't imagine if people come in and see them not wanting them on their vehicles. and to be the first kid on the block with them. How cool is that?
I've been excited ever since SEMA. When I saw what was coming out, I was excited to see them come to us. So.
They're beautiful. I mean, it's nicer and more beautiful than anything I've ever seen in the past. So definitely pay them a visit and check out the new wheels. Now, you also supply our commercial truck market. A whole section of your showroom is dedicated to just toolboxes for the back of pickup trucks. Seemingly every different shape, size, and different type of material known to mankind. Tell us a little bit more about that selection.
We actually keep in stock between 50 and 100 toolboxes at one time. We supply the local municipalities. We supply a lot of the big contractors with racks, toolboxes, different configurations. We have aluminum, we have steel, we have pro grade, and we usually have something that'll fit your budget. We can go head to head with the big chain home improvement stores that actually carry boxes at a low price. You'd be surprised. Come in and see us because we can usually match their price or beat it.
Well, and then on top of that, they may find out that there is another option that was more appropriate for their needs had they just taken a moment and looked at the selection that you carried, because the selection is pretty impressive. Just on that, it's a whole side of the showroom that's devoted to these. So before you go out and buy one, definitely pay them a visit and take a look at those. Now, while we're on the subject of commercial customers, you custom fit packages, the entire boxes and back ends to those. So give us some examples of what you can create for our commercial customers.
We do a lot of times where you've got a need for maybe a high side box or a low side box combined with what's called a saddle box, where you have tool storage on the side of the truck bed as well as the front of the truck bed, easily to access from the outside of the truck or inside the bed of the truck, but not taking up all of your cargo space.
Well, I want to get back to the towing for just a minute because it's such a big part of our community. We live in truck country, and many of people, if it's not their primary form of transportation, it is one of their forms of transportation. And for springtime towing, for their toy haulers and things like that. If you were to give somebody a recommendation that was going to prepare their vehicle for towing, where would you tell them to start?
Honestly, I would start checking to make sure. A lot of times on a trailer, especially whether it be fifth wheel or travel trailer, there's a tag on the side of that trailer that lets you know what your gross vehicle weight rating is. That's going to tell you what your maximum load of that trailer with, say water and gear inside is loaded at its most weight. Then you know whether or not your hitch is capable of towing that. If it's not, then you can always put something such as a weight distribution hitch or airbags to help you accommodate that extra weight that the hitch wasn't rated for without that special equipment. A lot of times you see a commercial and it's showing a vehicle that's towing a trailer. In small print on the bottom of the screen, almost all the time it says when properly equipped. That proper equipment is not come from the dealer, but an aftermarket guys like us that help you get the hitch rating that you need to be safely towing that trailer.
Well, and you mentioned that the salesman may say that this vehicle is capable of towing up to so many pounds, and that's the caveat emptor that we talked about earlier in the show of the buyer beware. It may be that there's additional equipment necessary to make it meet that, but you carry that. And
we do.
And you have a huge selection of different style fifth wheel hitches, and
we have fifth wheel hitches to meet most budgets as well as most needs as far as carrying capacity, ranging from 15,000 pound. I've got all the way up to 30,000 pound capacity.
Well, and one of the other interesting things we talked about on one of the other shows is for the people that are going to have that hitch back there and then want to cover it and protect it during inclement environments, like they can come to you now, put one of those on, even though it may be a month or so before they actually start towing with it. And you have power sliding tonneau covers for these too to keep them protected.
We do. We can get. We carry Pace Edwards Jackrabbit tonneau covers. They have manual. They all the way up to what's called a bed locker, which is literally a remote-controlled tonneau cover that will retract over the top of your hitch. And when you're not using it, it keeps it covered. When you are using it, it'll stop just in front of it, so you can put gear up towards the cab and keep it dry as you're towing.
Well, I think we tried this once before, so let's give it a go one more time. Of all the different types of things they can expect that they can find when they come into Custom Truck Accessories. And we just mentioned some of them with the towing, but let's talk about all the different other product lines that you carry.
Well, sure. As soon as you come through the door, I think you're going to notice the wheel and tire selection, of course. Also, the bumper displays. We carry a wide range of heavy-duty bumpers. We are a Thule 5-star dealer, one of the only in Northern Nevada as far as roof rack systems and things like that.
And in the bumpers, you carry the power winches.
We do. We carry several different manufacturers of winches, mile marker, Warn, and there's others that we keep as well.
Off-road lighting.
Oh, lots of off-road lighting from, incandescent, natural, regular lights all the way up to the nice LED lighting.
And stereo navigations and electronics.
We do. We have your Bluetooth hands-free, so you can actually legally drive and talk. We have custom stereo systems where you can really rock the neighborhood if you want to do that, as well as DVD systems. And we have 2 very sharp installers that are real good at mobile electronics.
Running boards, manual and power.
Right. We have everything from your Nerf bar, which is, bang for your buck, the best way to go, all the way up to power boards that open and close when you open and close the door.
Oh, let's see. Tonneau covers.
Tonneau covers, camper shells.
Camper shells, I almost missed that.
Yeah.
Bug guards.
Bug shields, rain guards, floor mats. A lot of people don't know we carry WeatherTech digital fit floor mats, which are the best there is out there. They fit the best.
Lift kits.
We have lift kits, leveling kits, lowering kits, steering stabilizers. We can get you replacement shocks.
It's a toy store. Let's put it simply. If it has to do with trucks, you love trucks, they love trucks, and we love them. It's Custom Truck Accessories on Kitski. And tell them, Scott, how to get a hold of you.
You can get a hold of us at 775-329-5111. We're at 385 Kitski Lane in between Mill and 2nd Street across from Mark Ford and Strike Sporting Goods. You can also visit us at customtruckaccessories.com, where we actually have an online live website. You can go on and actually buy our product, have it shipped right to your house.
That's Scott Dixon, General Manager, Custom Truck Accessories. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Mitch.
And we hope to have you back real soon.